A major winter storm is on the way, and it's shaping up to be one of the most significant weather events of the season. Meteorologists are closely monitoring its development, and the latest forecasts indicate that this system could bring widespread impacts to a huge portion of the country. If you live anywhere from the Midwest to the Northeast, now is the time to pay close attention to weather updates and start making preparations. This powerful storm is set to impact millions across the Midwest and Northeast, with its effects likely to be felt for days. From bustling cities to rural communities, no one in the path of this storm will be untouched by its reach. It's expected to bring a dangerous mix of snow, ice, and rain, creating hazardous travel conditions. Roads could quickly become slick and treacherous, making driving extremely risky. Even walking outside could be dangerous due to icy sidewalks and reduced visibility. The storm will stretch from the Great Lakes all the way to the East Coast, covering hundreds of miles and affecting a vast area. This means that multiple states will be dealing with heavy snowfall, strong winds, and rapidly changing weather conditions. Major cities like Chicago, Detroit, New York, and Boston are all in the storm's projected path. Each of these cities could see significant snow accumulation, icy roads, and potential power outages as the storm intensifies. What's fueling this powerful system? Arctic air plunging southward is colliding with warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico. This dramatic clash of temperatures is creating the perfect conditions for a major winter storm, with the potential for blizzard-like conditions in some areas. Expect major disruptions to daily life, especially when it comes to commutes and flights. Airports are already preparing for delays and cancellations, and public transportation systems are bracing for service interruptions. If you have travel plans, be sure to check for updates and consider postponing non-essential trips. The storm will begin developing over the weekend, gradually intensifying as it moves eastward. The heaviest impacts are expected between Monday and Wednesday, with the worst conditions likely during the start of the work week. Timing will be crucial, so stay tuned for the latest updates. Impacts will vary by region, with some areas seeing heavy snow, others dealing with freezing rain or sleet, and some experiencing a mix of all three. Regardless of where you are, everyone in the storm's path should prepare for significant weather and possible power outages. In this video, we'll break down what to expect, when the storm will hit your area, and how you can stay safe. We'll also share tips on preparing your home, your car, and your family for the days ahead. Stay tuned as we guide you through the storm's timeline, explain the different types of precipitation you might encounter, and offer essential safety tips to help you weather the storm. Our goal is to keep you informed and ready for whatever this storm brings. Make sure you have a way to receive weather alerts and keep your devices charged in case of power outages. Over the next few minutes, we'll explain why this storm is happening, what makes it unique compared to past storms, and how the clash of air masses is driving its intensity. We'll also compare this storm to others we've seen this season, highlighting what sets it apart and what you can learn from previous events to help you plan ahead. Understanding the risks is the first step to staying safe. We'll cover the most common hazards, from black ice to downed power lines, and show you how to avoid them. Let's get started and make sure you're prepared for the coming blast of winter. Gather your supplies, check your emergency kits, and talk with your family about your storm plan. This is a high-impact event. Don't take it lightly. Emergency services are already gearing up, and your preparation can make all the difference. Here's what you need to know to stay safe, informed, and ready for whatever this major winter storm brings your way. Why is this storm happening now? What's causing such dramatic weather to unfold right outside your window? The answer lies high above us, in the invisible currents of air that shape our weather every day. It's all about a battle in the atmosphere, a clash between two powerful air masses, each with its own unique characteristics and origins. Cold, dense Arctic air is plunging down from Canada, sweeping across the landscape like an icy tidal wave. This air mass is heavy and dry, originating from the frozen expanses of the far north, and it brings with it the bone-chilling temperatures that define winter storms. At the same time, warm, moist air is surging north from the Gulf of Mexico. This air is lighter, packed with humidity, and it's eager to rise as it meets the cold front. The collision of these two air masses is like two titans meeting in the sky, each pushing against the other. When these two air masses collide, the warm air is forced to rise up and over the cold air. As it rises, it cools, and the moisture it carries condenses into clouds and precipitation. This is the engine that drives winter storms, an invisible but powerful process happening above our heads. The type of precipitation that falls, whether it's snow, sleet, freezing rain, or just plain rain, depends entirely on the temperature profile from the clouds all the way down to the ground. It's a delicate balance, and even small changes can have big effects. If the air is below freezing from the clouds to the ground, snowflakes make the entire journey intact, blanketing the landscape in white. This is the classic winter wonderland scenario, with fluffy snow piling up on every surface. But if there's a warm layer of air sandwiched between the clouds and the ground, snowflakes can melt into raindrops as they fall. If those raindrops then pass through a shallow layer of freezing air near the surface, they can refreeze into sleet, tiny ice pellets that bounce when they hit the ground, or freeze on contact as dangerous freezing rain, coating everything in a slick layer of ice. Even a small temperature change, just a degree or two, can shift the type of precipitation dramatically. That's why you might see snow in one neighborhood, sleet in another, and rain just a few miles away. This is why forecasting winter storms is so tricky for meteorologists. They have to track not just the movement of air masses but also the subtle temperature changes at different heights in the atmosphere. This storm will bring all types: heavy snow that can pile up quickly, dangerous ice that can snap power lines and make roads treacherous, and cold rain that soaks the ground and creates slippery conditions, depending on exactly where you are. The sharp dividing lines between snow, ice, and rain mean that conditions can change rapidly over very short distances. You could drive from a blizzard into a downpour in just a few minutes. That's why it's so important to stay alert for updates as the forecast evolves. Weather conditions can shift quickly, and being prepared can make all the difference. The collision of these air masses is the engine behind this powerful storm, fueling its intensity and unpredictability. Understanding this setup helps explain why impacts will vary so much from place to place. Your experience of the storm could be completely different from someone just a few miles away. Let's take a closer look at how the cold air arrives, how it interacts with the warm, moist air, and how this epic clash sets the stage for the wild winter weather we're about to experience. The first sign of trouble is the arrival of Arctic air this weekend. Cold air will surge into the northern plains and Midwest starting Friday, dropping temperatures sharply. A quick round of light snow will accompany this cold, with minor accumulations in cities like Chicago and Detroit. Saturday brings a brief warm-up for parts of the Ohio Valley and Northeast, melting some snow and creating slushy conditions. But don't be fooled. This sets up a dangerous situation. By Sunday, temperatures plunge again, leading to a rapid freeze. Any melted snow or standing water will turn to ice overnight. This flash freeze creates hazardous conditions before the main storm even arrives. Be cautious. Icy roads and sidewalks will be a major threat. The stage is now set for the main event. Let's see what happens as the storm moves in. The main storm hits Monday, spreading snow and ice across the Midwest. Expect a messy morning commute, with conditions worsening through the day. By Monday night and Tuesday, the storm shifts east, targeting the interior Northeast and New England. Major cities along I-95 will see a sharp divide between snow, ice, and rain. Tuesday is the peak for the Northeast, with heavy precipitation and dangerous travel. The storm pulls away by Wednesday, but cold air and lingering snow showers remain. Cleanup will be slow, with frozen surfaces and possible power outages. This is a long-duration event. Stay alert for changing conditions. Now let's break down what you can expect in your area. As winter storms approach, you might be wondering, what will you see? Snow, ice, or rain? The answer isn't always simple, and it can change quickly depending on where you are and how the storm develops. It depends on where you live, but also on the unique mix of temperatures and moisture in the atmosphere above you. The same storm can bring very different conditions to neighboring towns, so it's important to pay attention to the details. The heaviest snow will fall where cold air dominates, especially around the Great Lakes and deep into the interior Northeast. These areas are set to see classic winter weather, with snow piling up quickly and creating a winter wonderland, but also making travel difficult. Upstate New York and northern New England could see several inches of heavy, wet snow. This type of snow is not only tough to shovel, but it can also weigh down tree branches and power lines, increasing the risk of outages and damage. Just south of the snow zone, a narrow band of sleet and freezing rain will create the most dangerous conditions. Sleet bounces off surfaces, but freezing rain coats everything in a slick, invisible layer of ice. Central Pennsylvania, the Ohio Valley, and parts of southern New England are at risk for significant ice. Even a small amount of ice can make roads treacherous, sidewalks slippery, and trees vulnerable to snapping under the weight. Even a thin layer of ice can make travel nearly impossible and cause widespread power outages. Emergency crews often struggle to keep up when ice accumulates, so it's best to avoid travel if you're in these zones. Further south, expect mostly rain, sometimes heavy enough to cause flooding. While rain might seem less threatening than snow or ice, it can quickly overwhelm storm drains and lead to dangerous driving conditions, especially if temperatures drop and roads refreeze overnight. The dividing lines between snow, ice, and rain will be sharp and can shift quickly as the storm moves. Sometimes a single neighborhood can see all three types of precipitation in just a few hours. A small change in the storm's track or temperature can mean a big difference in what you experience. That's why forecasts can change rapidly, and why it's important to stay alert. Stay updated as the forecast is refined. Check your local weather app or tune in to trusted meteorologists for the latest updates, especially as the storm approaches your area. Everyone from the Midwest to the Northeast should prepare for impactful winter weather. Stock up on essentials, make sure your car is winter ready, and have a plan in case of power outages or travel disruptions. Know your zone and plan accordingly. Whether you're facing snow, ice, or rain, taking a few precautions now can make a big difference in how you weather the storm. Up next, let's talk about how all this will impact travel and what you can do to stay safe on the roads. Major travel disruptions are likely in big cities from Monday to Wednesday. Chicago and Detroit will see delays and cancellations at airports and on the roads. As the storm moves east, New York, Boston and Philadelphia will face similar issues. The type of precipitation, snow, ice, or rain, will determine the severity of delays. Public transportation could also be affected by power issues or frozen equipment. If you have travel plans, check with airlines and consider rescheduling. The I-95 corridor will be especially treacherous for commuters. Avoid travel in the hardest-hit areas if possible. Expect ripple effects across the national transportation network. Prepare for longer travel times and have a backup plan. Don't underestimate the danger of a flash freeze Sunday night. After a brief thaw, temperatures will drop rapidly, turning slush and puddles into sheets of ice. Black ice is nearly invisible and extremely hazardous for drivers and pedestrians. Sidewalks, steps, and driveways will be slippery. Take extra care. Treat surfaces with salt or sand before the freeze sets in. Road crews may struggle to keep up if standing water dilutes their treatments. The flash freeze can catch people off guard, so be prepared before the main storm arrives. Walk and drive cautiously. Assume any wet surface could be icy. This invisible threat is the first phase of the storm. Stay safe and alert as conditions change quickly. Is this storm another blizzard of 2026? Not quite. The 2026 blizzard brought massive snow to the coast, but this storm is different. Coastal cities won't see the same crippling snow totals. Instead, the main threat is ice, potentially more disruptive than snow. Ice can bring down trees and power lines, causing widespread outages. This storm will also hit inland areas harder than the last blizzard. Heavy snow and ice will target regions that miss the worst of 2026. Every storm is unique. Don't get complacent. Prepare for the specific threats this system brings. Take this multi-day event seriously. Preparation is key. Here's your winter storm safety checklist. Stock up on essentials, flashlights, batteries, first aid kit, medications, non-perishable food, and water. Charge your devices and have a battery-powered radio for updates. Ready your car. Keep the gas tank at least half full. Check tires and wipers, and pack a winter kit with blankets, snacks, and a shovel. If stranded, stay in your vehicle and run the engine periodically for heat. Dress in layers, wear hats and gloves, and watch for frostbite or hypothermia. Avoid overexertion when shoveling snow. Take breaks and stay hydrated. Check on elderly neighbors or family members who may need help. Stay informed with the latest forecasts and warnings. Know when the storm will hit and what to expect in your area. Being prepared means being empowered, not scared. Take these steps to stay safe and confident through the storm. Stay warm, stay safe, and stay tuned for updates.